We should do a clappy clap, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Sure. Alex.
Paul.
Adam.
Rebecca.
Adam.
Alex again.
Adam.
Perfect.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Wait. No. Okay.
Fake out.
No. Wait. Okay.
Come on, everybody, let's
yayQuery, a whole lot of yay and a query too. So come on, go, 'cause we got a show for you.
What's up, Adam?
Oh, what's up, bros?
Hi.
Welcome to episode yayQuery, the latest version of yayQuery.
That's right.
We
The
decided
spirit of the HTML5 spec not being an enumerated spec anymore.
HTML
whatever.
spec, bro.
Yeah. What?
HTML spec.
Not a fan.
Sorry.
Okay.
So, we recently got a couple of tweets saying that people hadn't seen yayQuery in like 3 months, and we were shocked, completely shocked, because we've been recording every week, we've been editing episodes, it's tweeting, and we're shocked. But so the problem is though that if it didn't reach the rest of your guys' internet, well, there's no way to get it back now. So
It's our special little internet, apparently.
yeah, so, you know, we're sorry for anyone who missed whatever we talked about. It was some of the greatest episodes we ever recorded. But we're back.
Paul's making uninterested noises already, so.
Yeah, I blew that.
Paul
I
looks
blew
like
that hard.
Who I thought was a Unabomber at the beginning of the
I know,
episode,
he
to
looks
be
kind of like
honest.
he's been in prison.
Wow.
West Coast Paul is harder than East Coast Paul.
West Coast.
So maybe y'all have forgotten kind of like what we do on this podcast. We're gonna run through a bunch of exciting projects, news in the front end development, JavaScript scene, things that are impressive and that you should be paying attention to and digging into the code of.
That sounded like a mission statement or
No,
something. What is that?
Yo, if you wrote a mission statement, you wouldn't end it with a preposition.
Yeah. Right. But it is in the yayQuery Bible, so.
Yeah.
No.
All right. Well, I'm gonna take this off. All right. One of the things that I thought was the most amazing thing that we've seen ever in the world ever, a new project called HTML to Canvas. HTML to Canvas was actually inspired by Google+. When you click the feedback link and all of a sudden you see a little screenshot of your screen, and you're like, how the F did they get a screenshot? The way that Google seemingly does it is by constructing a screenshot on the client side by analyzing the DOM. So one guy kind of like reverse engineered it to some degree and was able to figure out, I can take a DOM and turn it into a canvas that looks pretty much like it. And he's just reading all the style data and then turning it into a canvas. And so he's basically created a browser renderer in JavaScript. So HTML to Canvas is a very ambitious project, but it works. And you should check it out if you actually want to see kind of like pseudo screenshots of what your users are looking at. It's pretty cool.
Wow.
Yep.
And it works?
It works. It works
well?
everywhere where there's Canvas support, and it even works through Flash Canvas and Xcanvas for like IE 8 and up. There's the browser support is actually really impressive. Yeah.
So is this a how quickly does it become a Chrome frame alternative?
I think that's a blank stare.
Sorry, what?
Oh, you're not at liberty to say. Sorry, I forgot.
What?
All right, moving on.
That's the end of the episode. Bye.
So one of the other cool things along those same lines, actually, but a little bit different, is people writing PDF readers in, really just
Writers
one.
and readers.
Writers and readers, rather. There's PDF.js by Andre Skol, and then there's PDF Kit by Devin Gavette, who does Badass JS. And Andre Skol is just a badass. Is he Mozilla? Yeah, Mozilla. Yeah. No, he's old school JavaScript, and for some reason a lot of people don't know who he is, but you should always check out and listen to what he has to say. But those are like actual compatible implementations of like the spec for PDFs, which is open, and it's kind of amazing that like if someone just says like, hey, maybe we should try this, then we can do it. And now you don't really need a PDF reader technically. You just do it with open web technologies. So what's next? HTML to Canvas?
Crazy. Yeah. So PDF.js it reads a PDF file and is able to throw it, I think, onto a canvas. And PDF Kit is kind of the inverse, where you can construct a PDF in JavaScript, and you can kind of author it in JavaScript. And so right now it runs in Node, but Devin is porting it into the browser so that we can construct PDFs client-side as well. But it's pretty comprehensive, so it's pretty cool.
Does it work offline?
Well, I suppose it could, but that brings up an interesting point. And something that I've been kind of talking to people a bit about lately is that I had this terrible interaction with an ex-girlfriend, actually. And we were having brunch.
Wrong podcast, Paul.
And we were having brunch, and she was like, yeah, well, I was thinking of making an iPhone app. And I was like, interesting, why are you doing that instead of like a web app? And she's like, well, I think it would be really cool if I could, if people had this, that they could use it when they're offline and when they don't have connectivity. And I was like, you can make web apps that do that. And she had no idea. And so I think, through application cache, client-side storage, through detecting connection and the navigator.online state, like there's a lot of hooks for us as developers to make apps that function offline, are interactable offline, can load assets offline, and then sync back up once you're connected. And I think it's really important that that we kind of make those apps work when we have spotty connectivity and when we have no connectivity. And I'm trying to figure out how we can make that happen a little bit faster.
So are there examples of people doing this now that we can look at and say, that's awesome?
I think that is a challenge, right? So like Every Time Zone by Thomas Fuchs works offline. And the developers.whatweg.org, the developer designed spec for HTML works offline. But I think there's a lack of adoption, and there's a lack of spotlight applications that really kind of show it off. But
so when you say it works offline, what does that mean? That means I go to the URL and I get the content? Like, what does that mean?
Yeah, like you don't have connectivity. Like your Wi-Fi was not able to connect.
I unplugged my computer.
Yeah, but you just like open a new tab and you type in that URL and it loads and it shows you shit, and then you can interact with it and you can search it and you can like mess around. Like same thing with like a to-do list app. I think there's been backbone.
Why do I even want to access that as a URL?
Why?
Like,
what?
Don't I want to just like double click something on my desktop that opens that? I don't know. It's weird. It's
No, I agree. I think it is weird. Like we think it's so odd to go into a browser when we're not connected.
Well, also URLs are a really weird way to access an app. I don't know.
I feel like they're on the internet, right? And if you're not connected, then you're not on the internet. I think that there's a big user challenge there too.
One of the ways that Google's solving that is with Chrome Web Store apps. So everything pretty much from the Chrome Web Store works offline. So all those or a good chunk of them are just like URLs, but then they hide the URL kind of, and they show you like a way shittier one. But then it doesn't feel the same. It doesn't feel dirty to like go to a Chrome web app, even though it's
I think that just like typing URL in is something like that's a price that you're willing to pay to get to the internet, but is that a price you're willing to pay to get to an app to like remember? I don't know. It's a weird like.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I suffer from this dichotomy all the time because I like write web apps, but then I really enjoy using native apps for most things.
Yeah.
Like for listening to music or like any of these things where you're like, I don't want to go look through my browser. I don't want to. This is not where this is supposed to be.
Right.
So.
The browser's where the internet is, and if you don't have the internet, it's really interesting.
Or if I don't think of the task as being like an internet thing.
Yeah, I think figuring out how to make that a natural thing for people is a whole other interesting problem.
Yeah. So
Paul's board. Next.
Sorry, guys. You guys started talking. It was terrible.
It was terrible.
Yeah,
well,
the whole thing.
You know what wasn't terrible?
Go on.
Was this month's Matt Wilto Marquis Twitter joke of the month. As you know, we've been doing this segment for the entire last 3 months, and this is just our next favorite installment. So this is from July 11th. I feel like Captain Morgan probably wasn't a real person, in quotes. You also didn't know centiliters were a real thing. Fair enough. And interestingly enough, I could have gone with quoting myself as the Wilto quote of the month because he quoted me on Twitter.
He did.
So, but I didn't, and now you have to go give him Twitter traffic.
In a recent analysis of the behavior of over 78 known haters, each has a marked propensity to hate. AJ Piano.
So, speaking of hate, did I say hate or date?
Date.
I meant to say hate because one thing that hate has always existed for within jQuery is proper support for HTML5 elements, especially in
What does jQuery got against HTML5? I don't understand.
I don't know. I think that
talk to some team members.
It's probably the orange logo. Yeah. So
flashes with the blue, really.
Yeah, exactly.
So right, the problem is that like you have the HTML5 shiv or you have modernizer on your page. You want to use something like header, footer, aside, nav, something like that. And with HTML5 shiv and modernizer, you're good. But the second that you Ajax in new content, it doesn't work. Like you Ajax in a section element. And
well, depends on how you inject it. But yeah, if you do it as inner HTML, then it starts breaking.
Yeah. And so this is the problem. A lot of people have been hitting this when they've been adopting HTML5 markup. And jQuery has had some problems with it. So there's a ticket because jQuery wants to solve this. jQuery is looking to solve it for the upcoming 1.7 release. The ticket is 6485, and there's an investigation into how we can make this work. And it's a tricky problem. I've spent some time on it. Jonathan Neal has spent some time on it. Snover and Alexander Farkas. And it's tricky to do. The current recommendation is to continue to use Inner Shiv by J.D. Bartlett, which tackles this problem. And jQuery has to figure out a lot of kind of edge cases dealing especially with clone node, because clone node is pretty rough with, we can handle the inner HTML case, but clone node is a really rough use case for handling these HTML5 elements in IE. So we're trying to figure that out. It's on schedule for 1.7. And if you want to help tackle this, we'd actually love to get your help.
Click it or ticket, guys.
Is that an expression?
In Texas, that's what they say to get you to buckle up.
Is that a thing?
Click it or ticket.
In the place where there are cards, yes.
Yeah.
Alex,
click it or ticket.
Alex, I'm actually like, so we maybe we should talk about TXJS because, well, I'm going to skip to right after TXJS because we went out and we went tubing, and the tubing was great. The tubing was actually like the most phenomenal thing in the world.
Tubing JS. Yeah.
But I don't know what I said something, and I said like that's a thing, right? And then Alex, you're like, I'm the guy that determines what things are things.
I know. No. It goes like this. I'm a guy who knows when things are things, and that's not a thing.
What was the thing? Do you remember the candidate?
And like
thing?
Rebecca,
it wasn't a thing.
Can't argue
it
with
wasn't
that.
a
That's
thing.
the worst thing. Is that like, I'm like, no, you're not him, and Alex is like, I'm the thing, and I determine what are things, and you're.
So what was the thing?
That's not
What
a thing.
was the proposed thing?
It wasn't a thing. That was the whole point.
Was it a proposed thing?
No.
Well, what happened before the tubing at TXJS?
A conference.
Conference?
But before we get into that, we were still on jQuery.
Right.
A lot has happened in jQuery for a while,
Sure.
Adam. And you happen to be a new lead of a...
Yeah, I'm developer relations lead for jQuery. So, that's cool. So, incidentally, since the last time most people have seen a yayQuery episode,
Clever.
jQuery 1.6 actually came out. There's fixes for attributes versus properties, deferred animations. But like the yayQuery podcast, we're also on like a accelerated major release schedule. So like we're working towards 1.7. We're even accepting like proposals for 1.8. So there was new things. There are new things. It's very exciting, and I was gonna try and do something to transition there, but I blew it.
Can I ask a quick question? What was the whole adder prop, and where did that end up?
So basically, you have the attributes of elements, the things you see in HTML, and then you have like properties, all these things like tag name and node name and selected index and all these things that jQuery used to let you access by doing the adder method. But in reality, those things weren't attributes. And there was all this confusion as to, I updated adder value, but it didn't update the value in the HTML. It updated the property, but I'm trying to get the HTML string and it's not correct. So there was a lot that had to be sussed out, and a lot of like odd edge case bugs that would crop up just due to how things were commingled in jQuery. And Timmy Willison spearheaded the effort to tease those things apart, and there were some integration issues because when you've been doing one thing like allowing people to take attributes and get properties for a really, really long time, and then that changes, we ran into some backwards compatibility issues, but those things have pretty much been sussed out by 1.6.2. And if you're having problems with it still, the bug tracker is eminently open, and we're almost at bug 10,000. So, it's either you or Viagra commercials, so file away.
Tight.
So
you really
what?
Okay, go ahead.
No, I had nothing. I really what?
You're really blowing the segues.
Yeah, I'm blowing the segues. I was gonna say, speaking of missing the boat on things, which is going back to very, very early on in the conversation.
Awesome segue.
Almost a segue. We have a state right now where a tool that was really, really popular has sort of let the community pass it by.
A bit, right?
Because, I don't know, what would you, why, what are we talking about, guys? We're talking about the lint wars.
The lint wars. Oh, did you have some reverb there?
No, I just yelled.
No.
Oh, okay. All right.
The same.
Same thing. So, lint wars. We've seen like kind of two different lint wars. We saw the JS lint versus JS hint lint war. That got dramatic at TXJS.
Yeah.
And then
what was the drama?
I'll go into that for their TXJS section. I'll find the quote exactly.
Oh, yeah?
All right.
You got
All
that?
right.
Yeah.
All right, we'll get
So Crockford said some
said something.
antagonistic things up on the stage, and then Anton fired back at Gotham.js. Anton was awesome at Gotham.js. By the way, good work. But yeah, so we've been seeing sort of the JS hint. It is trying to make a more friendly and realistic lint tool, and that's not necessarily going over well. We've also seen Nicole Sullivan and
Nicholas Dacus.
help me. Thank you. Completely blanked on that. Nicole Sullivan and Nicholas Dacus coming out with CSS Lint, which is an interesting and free tool that tries to tell you things that you might be doing in your CSS that might not be super ideal.
Like using an ID? Like breathing air? Come on, you're trying to tell me not to use IDs in my CSS? What is this nonsense? Come on!
It is a particular flavor of linting. I think that it's interesting because it's a CSS lint tool, and it comes preloaded with a set of rules, but the idea is that those don't have to be your rules. And mostly I want to applaud people for putting stuff out there. And sometimes it really bums me out to see people get all in a huff about it. I'm just glad that people are putting stuff out there, and if you want to make Nicole and Nicholas's tool better, do it.
Yep.
That's my little speech.
So at TXJS, I actually can't find the quote, which was online, but I remember it pretty clearly. Someone asked what Crockford's opinion on JS Hint was, and he said something along the lines of, people will always want to do stupid things, and luckily for those people, there's JS Hint. Which is pretty harsh.
I remember being downstairs and reading that on Twitter and just thinking, oh my god.
No, I was there for that, and it happened.
Yeah, it happened.
So, I mean, that was harsh. And I saw them talking. I never saw, like, a resolution or anything like that. But
Did you see, like, a no hug or anything like that?
No.
Because Anton's a hugger.
Anton is a hugger. I hugged Anton in New York, but I don't think Anton was feeling super huggy.
With Croc?
With Croc?
No. Certainly not.
Croc's not a hugger. Anyways, TXJS was great. We had a lot of people come out. There was only like one murder during the course of the weekend. Luckily, it wasn't in our group. No, but it was a good time. It was really hot, and there was a lot of really great talks that should be up by the time you actually see this episode. So we'll link to that in the show notes. They're on Vimeo under a channel for TXJS, and you can go watch most of them, and we'll get more of them up as that goes on. So go check those out, especially Paul's, because he talks about like snowmen and stuff. So that's cool.
Yeah.
Yay.
Thanks for coming out if you came out.
Yes, thanks for coming out. We're glad that you survived.
Yeah. Rebecca, you got a new blog.
Especially. I have a new blog. I just brief little shout out for Octopress. I've been messing around with Ruby a lot lately for work, and so I've been getting annoyed with my old blogging software, my old blogging tool, which shall not be named, and tried out Octopress. And it's amazing. If you can write Markdown and you like GitHub, your blog should be on Octopress and not something stupid. So that's what I have to say. I want to give this guy money, whoever this Octopress guy is, but he won't tell me how. So just use his stuff instead.
If you have to measure the speed of the page of Octopress, how would you do that? Maybe Paul?
Okay. Well, you might measure it with YSlow, but YSlow is so old hat. You probably use
You know what they
page
say.
speed, Google Page Speed, which is now has integration into Chrome. But even more new than that is Google Page Speed Service, which has just come out. Google Page Speed Service is basically a service that does all the optimizations for you. It's kind of like mod page speed in a way. And it's like, I have a website, and I want someone to kind of like do the optimization for me. And there's a bunch of actually commercial services that kind of own web perf for you, so you don't have to think about it, because it gets pretty hard when you get into it. And Google Page Speed Service tries to tackle that for you, and so you kind of like mess with your DNS settings. They host it for you, and they make it really fast. If you're already optimizing really heavily, you probably won't get a good benefit, because it's a
computer.
Yeah, it's a computer. And if you're hand optimizing, then you're probably going to beat it. But
hand optimized. I like that. Hand optimized in the United States of America.
There it is. But anyways, yeah, it's good. Also, another thing to point out, we'll have the link here. There was a recent set of slides about Google Page Speed for mobile by that team, and they are extremely, extremely good. Figuring out the best way to do performance for mobile is a really tough challenge, and the PageSpeed team has really looked into that really hard. So there's a lot of really good information there, and we're gonna share that with you.
Whee!
Yay.
So
go.
Oh shit! My audio just did something bad.
Oh.
Not bad.
I'm
Alex.
gonna clap myself in here.
This is the moment that Alex doesn't want to happen. Well, no, he does want it to happen, but he doesn't want us to talk about it. We're going to talk about it anyway.
Oh, too bad.
Sorry, Alex.
Congratulations to Alex, who just recently asked his new fiance for her hand in marriage. Allie and Alex will be getting married. So congratulations, Alex. That's awesome.
Forever.
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 Woo! As you can see, their names start with the same two letters, and they call each other the same name. It's really cute.
Call each other Al.
All right.
Is that what it was?
I think so.
Okay.
Alex, now that you're officially, you've been on Modernizer team for a long time now, I guess. We put out Modernizer 2.0. You want to cover the summary of that?
Yeah, super simple. Most of it's the same. A lot of the support got better for just tests and stuff like that. We added media query tests, so you can give it an arbitrary media query and then run stuff based on that. We added a couple other tests, but mostly we added yepnope as modernizer.load, which is super hot, and then we also added a build tool on the site. So you can get custom builds of Modernizer and not have to run so much. And so that's going to help you in Google Page Speed as well. That's
the important thing, is that there is no Modernizer minified that you download. You always create a custom one that is as small as you want it, because it only tests the things that you want it. So it's super fast, super small. It's perfect.
Yeah, and I wrote that completely in client-side JavaScript. Even the minification process is a ported version of Uglify. And so check it out if you ever want to offer a minified version of your thing or a build. Then I say do it in JavaScript, because it's free server.
It's really hot.
Because it's the other person's stuff. But no, I'll move on. Just on that same note, since I mentioned yepnope, someone built something called Shiminy, which is it takes all the ES5 functions and stuff like that, runs tests in your browser for all of them, and then adds them to your browser if they don't exist based on yepnope tests for the different things. So it'll add JSON if that's not there. It'll add ES5 shims for get own property name and all that kind of stuff. So it's pretty cool if you just want ES5 and you don't have to worry about it. Probably not the best for performance if you're not going to use it all, though.
True.
Cool experiment, though. Really, really cool experiment.
It's worth pointing out that Node Knockout is coming out soon. Node Knockout is an amazing event, huge participation, a lot of judges, and it's a great experience to get together with some friends, build something that might be real time, might use WebSockets. I don't know, but like there's a lot of fun to be had in Node, messing around, learning some new technology, and so I recommend that you get together with some friends and figure out you're gonna make like a game or some like collaborative something awesome.
And if you don't, I was gonna say,
Paul's
if
a
you don't-
judge.
Oh.
Paul's a judge, and he does take bribes. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, he does take bribes. I was just going to say, and if you don't want to start a Node knockout team, let this be just a message to anyone out there who doesn't know this, because someone said this, I heard this week, and I wanted to make sure that anyone who doesn't know this does know this. Node does not run on top of Apache. Just getting it out there. Pick anyone who's listening and does not know that.
Good to know.
Yeah, Node chose to not run on Apache. And our plugin, in fact, of the quarter, is Chosen. And Chosen is an amazing.
We chose it.
We chose
What did we
it.
choose?
And so first of all, I'd like to point out that it's the plugin of the quarter, and we stole it from your daughter.
That didn't rhyme. That's not a thing.
I know? Okay.
Not a thing.
Anyway, no, what it is it's an amazing select replacement for both single selects and multi-selects, supports opt groups in multi-selects and standard selects. Everyone wants a beautiful select box replacement. This does, the whole Facebook style tokenized input for your multi-select. It's pretty gorgeous. It's a jQuery plugin. It actually apparently works for Prototype, which is awesome. Like, throwback. Moo Tools. It's really baller. And if you're looking, it had mad Twitter buzz.
Can you make us some more friends, Adam?
We have so many friends already that I don't know. It's like, just add us to a circle on G+.
Done.
This is, for the first time, FYI, we are doing our chat as a Google Plus hangout. It's my first. So far, so good.
Yeah.
It's nice to see each other when we record the show.
We usually see each other, so this is fun.
I wanted to point out a presentation that came out recently. It was by Kyle Neath, who works at GitHub. Really talented designer there. He calls himself a designer, but he's a designer, developer, talented guy. And he is convinced that push state, the HTML5 history push state, is the most significant feature of the HTML5 family.
I totally agree, and I've been yelling at Microsoft dev relations people for about a year now at every opportunity to tell them they need to put it in their browser.
Yeah, they do. GitHub has been kind of at the forefront now of using push state very well, making sure that we can kind of change the URL despite the fact that we're not refreshing the page and loading in new sections of content with a very classy transition. GitHub is interesting now because it's kind of like an app and kind of like a site, and I can't really call it either. It's kind of both, but at the same time, it delivers a great user experience. So who the fuck cares, what I call it? They're delivering a great user experience. So push state was covered really well in a talk that he did about responsive web design from the future, and he used the word responsive, which normally has connotations to media queries, but he was talking about kind of push state, URLs, permalinks, and PJAX, GitHub's project to kind of generalize their use of push state. So want you to check out the talk by Kyle and also PJAX, because push state is one of the most beautiful things when it comes to backwards compatibility and progressive enhancement, because the degradation path is just completely obvious and makes sense.
And if you don't use PJAX, Baluptin wrote something called History.js that I use at work on a project, and it's great for managing state. It's it's a lot you can. it has hints of like Ben Allman's barbecue plugin. It's not quite the same, but then it also like does all this URL state stuff that you can kind of match up with your app. And so it's and it falls back to hash URLs in the case where you need hash URLs and all kinds of stuff. It's kind of a perfect like wrapper around the push state stuff that I would definitely suggest checking out.
Yeah, and I just want to say I didn't really know much about push state until I had to write a router, and then it's really neat stuff. If you haven't looked into it and you haven't learned about it, if you're feeling like, oh, I can't use this because I still have to support old browsers, you actually can make use of it. And once you're aware of it, you start to think about all sorts of neat things you can do. So check it out.
Yeah, and what's it called? Backbone 0.5 just came out recently, and they renamed their controller to router and started supporting push state as well. And you can opt into using push state instead of hash history in Backbone as well. So it's the wave of the future.
Wave of the future. And like Paul said, there's a clear back compat path, so that makes it a really fun technology to use now.
There's some conferences coming up. Adam, what's up?
Yo, we're doing jQuery conference up in Boston. Oh, I'm doing this in the voice again. We're doing the jQuery conference in Boston this year on October 1st and 2nd.
You're doing a Boston accent?
No, I'm doing it like a state television presenter accent. On October 1st and 2nd, jQuery conference, we got tickets. We wanted to have you. It's going to be awesome. But October 1st and 2nd is, of course, as many people have noted, JSConf EU. So, sorry for the, like...
Berlin, Boston.
For all 10 of you who were maybe considering going to both, we're sorry. Sorry. Any other conferences going up in the fall?
FunConf is the week before JSConf EU, and then I believe the week before that is Capital JS. Do you know anything about that, Rebecca?
I think I'm speaking at it.
Are you
so
speaking
are
at
you?
it?
I am.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
Yeah,
both
who
maybe.
knew? I think you are too, and Mike Taylor and a whole bunch of good people. And right before that is DojoConf.
Boom.
So there's a 2-day DojoConf happening in DC at the same place as the old JavaScript conference venue, which is
and
great.
They just sold out and then released a few more tickets.
Yeah, they dug up some more tickets when they got some more sponsors, and I think I don't know. I may be speaking at that too, but TBD.
Yeah, super cool. Yeah, no, a lot of Capital JS is top secret, but check out capitaljs.com. I'm not sure if you can still get tickets, but it's still something to watch, at least the Twitter stream.
Sold out, and I think Full Frontal over in the UK in November sold out. I'm gonna go check that out.
Sold out.
I would be very interested.
Coming up in Nashville, I don't think that sold out. That's gonna be really good.
That looks so good.
If anyone,
it was good in Dallas when it happened in Dallas.
We just had CSS Summit online. That was amazing. Check out Environments for Humans because they have online conferences that are actually tremendous.
Actually, kind of good. Yeah.
Yeah. And way less pants requiring.
No pants.
Super
no pants.
less.
You didn't know you saw Paul half naked?
I'm wearing.
If anyone wants to make some sort of documentary about being a conference gypsy and just living week to week, going from conference to conference, never ever developing anything, but feeling technology just warp forward around you, and you're just wow, this was new yesterday, and now it's old. Contact us because we'd love to get it done.
We'll help with that.
I want that job.
We'll donate theme songs. Anyways, I think that's it for us. We've taken up enough of your time.
Yep.
And so I'd like to thank our sponsors. That's a thing. Our sponsors are, of course, Wotato. Paul, please, I'm trying to announce the sponsors.
Sorry, guys.
Our sponsors are Wotato and TinyCDN, as usual, and we have a guest sponsor this week. Thanks to Paul's neighbor, Kendall, for letting him borrow earbuds. And also thanks to Teddy, Adam's friend, that was just kind of in the background when we were setting up.
Hi, Teddy.
Yeah, we appreciate you ruining our setup or whatever. But everyone have an awesome time, and we'll be back just as quick as we were this time. We appreciate you watching, and peace out and have a good one.
Pew! Pew!